CISA explicitly recommends application whitelisting as part of ransomware prevention best practices, and NIST has a dedicated guide on how to do it. Still, most organizations won't touch whitelisting because they assume it'll break everything. Hi, I am Antonia from Heimdal, and this week we continue our analysis into application whitelisting, also called allowlisting. What it buys you, where it fails, and how to roll it out without wrecking productivity. At its core, whitelisting is simple: deny by default, allow by exception. Only approved software can run. This is why major frameworks keep bringing it up. So what does this actually buy you? If the executable isn't approved, it doesn't run, which stops malware and ransomware that depend on dropping and launching new binaries. That's why CISA calls out application allowlisting as a recommended control in its ransomware guidance. Whitelisting blocks unauthorized software, including shadow IT. That means fewer unknown apps, fewer risky remote tools, less cracked software, and fewer admin tools expanding your environment. It also limits what an attacker can run after they land on a device. Fewer executable paths, entry points, and chances to move the attack forward. A lot of standards don't just want "we have controls," they want enforcement. Allowlisting gives you enforcement you can prove. It lines cleanly with the CIS Controls, and it shows up across NIST guidance too, like NIST 800-171's allow by exception requirement and NIST 853's controls for restricting what software can run. Application whitelisting is powerful, but it's not set and forget. Here's what it can go wrong. The biggest trade-off is speed. If people need new tools all the time, a strict whitelist can turn into non-stop approvals and a pile of support tickets. And getting started isn't magic. You have to figure out what's actually being used and who needs what. If that process drags, people will work around it and the exception list starts growing fast. And this gets even tougher in fast-changing setups. DevOps-heavy teams, lots of contractors, changing tools every week. Every update needs testing, or you break something someone relies on. And it's not foolproof. Attackers can try to blend in by copying familiar names or paths. That's why mature whitelisting uses stronger checks like publisher, hashes, signed code, managed policy, not just the file name looks legit. NIST talks through these realities in its allowlisting guidance. Identify the required apps by environment and role and define what gets approved and why. Then roll it out in phases. Start with less critical systems, expand gradually across the organization, and adjust as you go based on real-time feedback to minimize disruption. Run audit mode first. Don't block anything yet, just watch what runs. Most allowlisting tools have an audit first or monitor only phase that shows what would break, so you can tune your rules before you enforce them. That's where the surprises show up. Finance using an ancient Excel macro tool nobody knew about, marketing installing a random screen recorder, IT running 3 different remote tools. Now you can label what's legit, what's risky, and what's just junk. Heimdal's Application Control module is one example. It supports passive mode and gives you a full execution audit trail. Allowed, blocked, and monitored, and you can turn those findings into rules based on things like software name, paths, publisher, MD5, signature, and wildcard paths. Log what gets blocked, what's repeatedly requested, and what looks suspicious. This helps you spot misuse, tighten policies, and keep the allow list accurate. Picture this: finance needs Excel and QuickBooks. Support needs the ticketing platform and remote access tools. Developers need Git, VS Code, Docker, the kind of tooling you do not want to show up on a finance workstation. With one global allow list, you end up in a lose-lose. Either you block developers from doing their jobs, or you allow a bunch of unnecessary tools in finance and widen the risk. Role-based policies avoid just that. Thank you for watching, and if you're rolling out application whitelisting, think minimum friction, maximum control. Next step for you, pick one pilot group, finance or support. Baseline their acts this week, run audit mode for 2 weeks, and then switch on enforcement. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, share it, subscribe to Heimdal's YouTube channel. I'll see you next week.